Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Brew Roots, where we tell the stories behind your favorite beer. This is Sound Guy Ryan, and joining me as always is Matt and Erica.
What's up? We are on location at a secret location that we can't tell people about.
Yeah, we are in a secret lair.
Yeah. We are not at Small Pond Studios because our friend Jazz is getting his, what is it, CDL license?
Yeah,
he's going to drive big trucks.
He's going to be driving big trucks. So
big boy trucks.
Shout out to Jazz. He's the man. We love him.
He just passed. I just got the message.
Oh, yeah. Really? Hell yeah.
Yay!
Up-to-date breaking news. Ryan, you should put a breaking news sound right here. Jazz passed his CDL test. That's awesome. So congratulations to Jazz. But we are still maintaining social distance. We're just doing it at a secret location.
In a secret location, yeah.
But how are you guys?
Oh, we're going. Yeah, we're going.
You know.
It's been a nice week for us. We've gotten a ton of new followers.
From what would you say?
I would say our engagement on YouTube.
What?
And a little app called Reddit.
Oh.
Myself being a big Reddit user.
Big Reddit user.
Yeah, I like Reddit. It's funny. I find a lot of funny things. We are on Reddit, so you can find us at Brew Roots on Reddit or /r Brew Roots on Reddit. And yeah.
On YouTube.
And YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep. And where we want to see more followers and subscribers is our Patreon.
That's right.
Matt, tell us about our Patreon.
Yeah, so we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Brew Roots podcast because I couldn't remember the password for the first Brew Roots one, so we were Brew Roots podcast on Patreon. Yeah. But we have one follower or subscriber, or Patreon, right? Or patron. Yeah, we have one patron. Thank you. And you need to, if you're listening to the podcast, you need to message me back on Patreon because I need your shirt size, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Boy.
And I can drop your stuff off.
Yeah, exactly. But people have subscribed. We have different tiers, and we would really appreciate it because this podcast, while we do have sponsors, we are kind of self-ran. And, if we want to continue to travel when COVID's over, we are going to need some funds to do it because airline tickets aren't cheap and we want to go across the country.
Exactly.
It's not free to run a podcast.
Yeah, we don't completely run on beer.
Yeah.
It only helps.
Yeah.
The recordings.
All helps me.
Yeah. Speaking of beers, what are you guys drinking today? I know you both are drinking the same beer. And I'm
Ryan and I are both having Winter Nacht by Ipswich Ale Brewery. This is a new one. Yeah, there's Schwarzbier that they just rebrewed. Apparently they haven't brewed it in a while. And it's delicious.
Yeah, I really like it. Yeah. And I'm going to be completely honest. This is my first time having an Ipswich Ale beer in a long time.
Right.
I think the last time we had it together at Ipswich Ale.
It was at Ipswich Ale, yeah. And, I've had plenty of beers that are brewed at Ipswich, but I haven't had too many Ipswich stuff because it just feels to me that they don't have anything that I haven't had already. That I see in the store. So it's just really nice to have something like this. And again, Erica is right. It's really good.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of any.
I love a good Schwarzbier.
Yeah,
it's just easy drinking, but also has that nice dark, malty character, roasty flavor. Yep.
Yeah. I am drinking Jack Zabby's collaboration with the Boston Celtics, which I don't think, Kemba Walker or Marcus Smart was there brewing with them.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been amazing. I could imagine Brad Stevens being like, gee willikers, we're brewing something that I won't even drink. And people who listen to the Sports Hub will get that reference. But I'm drinking Pride and Parquet, their hoppy lager. And do I say.
Ooh, dare.
I have a place close to my heart for Hoponius on holiday. I think that is their best hoppy lager that they have. This is probably as good.
Is it better? Or is just as good?
I think we have to, sound the breaking news again, but I think it's better.
Damn.
Yeah.
What do you like about it that you think it's better? Like what about it makes you think that?
I don't know if I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't know if it's because the can art is just so awesome. I love the Celtics and it's just like a mindset when I'm drinking it. But it's really good. It's just easy to drink. 5.7%. I don't know. Just easy drinking.
Yeah.
Not overly hoppy.
Cool.
Into it.
Yeah, I went on a little spree at the city and picked up a whole bunch of, some nice middle of the road or easy drinking
what did you
beers.
get?
Well, I got some stuff. I think it was Equilibrium. I picked up some Burlington stuff that I was really happy with. And of course, I picked up some Nightlight because I can never have too much of
Nightlight's
Nightlight.
always good.
Yeah. But Ryan, in 2 weeks,
Oh,
we will be able to drink our own beer.
yes.
Ooh.
Because thanks to our friends over at Clawhammer, who are nice enough to send over a 10-gallon brewing system. And if you want to find out a little bit more about that, we will provide our YouTube link in the doobly-doo below for this episode. So you can see Ryan and my awesome unboxing video.
The best unboxing video.
I'm going to be honest with you. I did a lot of YouTube studying and a lot of Premiere Pro. I learned a lot about Premiere Pro, and
It's a great piece of software.
I was editing everything in After Effects.
Miserable,
It was
right?
miserable, so
Yeah.
I'll never do that again.
That's why they call it After Effects.
I know. I should have done that.
It's in the title, man.
I've been doing it for 3 years that way. So
Ouch.
yeah. But yeah, Clawhammer, the brewing system was awesome. I've looked at the beer a couple times. We added hibiscus last week
And mango.
And mango.
Yep.
Nice.
And the hibiscus added a nice little like purpley hint to it. So it's
hibiscus beers are usually like just so pretty.
Oh yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty beer, and I think it's going to be really drinkable. 3.8%. You know, we were talking about the low ABV beers, so I'm so excited to try it. And again, we were talking about Clawhammer. There's a lot of good discussion on our Reddit post about it, but a lot of people were like, "Oh, we didn't get as good of brewhouse efficiency as we got." So either we got very lucky, Ryan, or we maybe know
Master
a little bit
brewers.
what we're doing. I think we got lucky.
I think it might be a combination of the two.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking to brewers every day about, how they actually do what they do.
It's rubbed off on you.
Yeah, but some of the cool things in there, they were talking about, they were talking about milling the grain twice to get a little bit better efficiency. So there's just so many great avenues and learning things on Reddit as well. So
Yep, absolutely.
yeah. Is there Pink Boots news? I know I saw some stuff about new members.
Exactly. So the most exciting recent news is we have 4 new chapter leaders.
Yeah.
Bree has stepped down, which that's cool. Good for her.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Enjoy your retirement.
Exactly. Well, maybe she'll come back and we'll see. But yeah, we got 4 new ones. Check out our Facebook page to find more and join us, because hopefully we're going to be getting, back into the swing of things in 2021.
Yeah. Speaking of things that are getting into the swing of things in 2021, our friends over at 4-Star Farm, they opened their brewery.
So exciting.
I know.
We can't wait to go out there. I haven't been there yet.
I know. I've been side texting Liz about it and just being like,
Yes.
I'm so proud of you and Chris and the team and the Latoli family. Like, amazing.
The place is beautiful.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
And I keep on seeing the cans and I'm just like, when are we making a trip? When are we making a trip?
That was our friend Bob over at Mass Brew Bros 300th unique brewery that he went to.
Yeah, that's
was 4-Star Farm.
pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
Nuts.
Yeah, speaking of Mass Brew Bros, we stay up to date with all our brewing news thanks to the Mass Brew Bros. So if you want to stay up to date, make sure to go to massbrewbros.com. This piece particularly caught my eyes because I'm a sucker for charity. And it happens, I'm burping. It happens to be with our friends over at Castle Island. So, Erica, what are they doing?
Well, they're now brewing a year-round beer, which I think they were brewing before, but they're now donating proceeds from that beer to 5 different charities, and that is their Fiverr beer.
Yeah, so some of those charities is like the Atlantic White Shark Conversely. I can't say that word.
I don't know that's the right word.
All right, let's do that again. Sorry, I'll do that all over again.
Please.
Can we? What did we say last?
I would say.
Oh, the burp is natural. We don't have to take the burp
speaking. Started from speaking of Mass Brew Bros.
Okay. Yeah, so speaking of the Mass Brew Bros, make sure you go to their website and stay up to date, because that's what we do on all mass beer related news, massbrewbros.com. This one caught my eye because I'm a sucker for charity, and I'm a sucker for a lot of things that Castle Island does, truth be told. So Castle Island, you may know, they brew an IPA called Fiverr year-round.
Yep.
And they are now entering the domain of, having some charitable partners with this. So proceeds from the Fiverr is going to go to 5 charity members. And I'm gonna butcher some of the names because I just don't know how to read as well as everyone else.
Words are tough.
Yeah, words are tough. But they're going to be giving it to the Mass Audubon, the Doug Flutie Foundation for Autism, the Atlantic White Shark
Conservancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, nailed it.
Artists for Humanity, and Facing History and Ourself. which is really cool. So there's going to be a link for this in the doobly-doo below. There's going to be lots of links.
Or just check out, like we were saying, like Mass Brew Bros, or even our website.
Yeah.
We have all their
blogs
we
linked
have their
up.
feed on our blog. So either way.
Yeah, it's really cool, and you can find out a little bit more about what Castle Island's doing, what other great mass breweries are doing across the state.
The great state of Massachusetts.
Yeah. Well,
and speaking of our website, take a look at it and let us know what you think.
It's real pretty.
Matt has been working very hard.
tirelessly.
Yes, absolutely. He's gotten no sleep. But no, actually, I think it looks really great. But if you have any feedback on it, definitely let us know.
We've been giving a ton of love to Massachusetts today, and we will continue to do that because we're Massachusetts-based, New England-based, kind of. But we went up to New Hampshire for this interview.
We did.
Yeah, so we got to talk with our friend Jay from the Barrel Brewing Company.
Which was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. That was a fun night.
Solid beer. They're also right next door to Rockingham.
Yeah.
So you can take a little trip and do a 2-in-1.
That's right. And there's a lot of breweries in that area. I can think of like Pipe Dream, Longwood Cat. So that Londonderry, New Hampshire, up 93 area is really a nice area for beer.
For sure. Yeah. They're definitely ready to recommend.
It's going to be a really solid episode 146.
Yeah.
Count down to 150, baby.
Here we go.
So close.
Yeah. So enjoy Jay's story because it's really cool. We love their little brewery. I loved hanging out there.
Definitely.
At this point, the Patriots were still playing. And I think
that was cool.
We were talking about our hopes for the Patriots. Not in the episode, but before. I just remember talking with Jay and being a little bit disappointed.
That was the first interview with the new setup.
That's right. So you're definitely going to hear a little bit of a difference.
You're going to love it.
Yeah, it wasn't the new setup, but it was the new setup.
It was the new setup.
Yeah.
So, sound guy Ryan, what do you think? Should we cue this audio up and let our listeners' ears bleed with sounds of beautifulness?
I don't want my listeners' ears to bleed.
All right. How about our listeners' ears to
tickle? I want to
tickle.
Tickle.
little tickle in their ears.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cute.
Well, we'll catch you on the outro because we have some awesome news pertaining to Ryan, and he's going to be cutting his hair.
Yeah, and as always, please support local.
Yeah.
Do everything you can.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Well, this was a short trip up 93 North.
This was fabulous.
I was blasting 1984 by Van Halen on the way up here because Eddie Van Halen died. So what a
Rest in
bummer.
power.
Dude, 2020, it's fucking sucked.
Yep.
Yeah. But
it is.
so we're up in 93, right off of exit 4. If you are coming north on the highway.
And if you're familiar with the area.
Yeah, if you're familiar with the area, which you should be because
Come on.
Yeah, you should be. And we are here at From the Barrel.
There you go.
It's a hard one.
And I've heard a lot about this brewery because you guys are kind of like the OG in the area. It was you, 603, and Kelson, right? Like you guys kind of 2013?
Yeah,
2014?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a pretty interesting brewery. You guys have a little bit of a different concept than 603.
Yeah.
And you and Kelson kind of similar, but small scale. Nano brewery.
Yep.
And there aren't a ton of nano breweries anymore. Everyone's trying to go really hard now.
Making the times.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are doing the brew pub thing.
Yeah.
Getting bigger food
Not
options.
Not many just tap room setups.
Yeah. So
and that's what we like the best. So we like to keep it, small here. Very small here.
Yeah, for sure.
No, a ton of respect for that. That's really good. So we start every podcast by asking our guests their role here at the brewery.
Okay.
And their first memory of beer.
Okay. My role is pretty much everything that needs to be done. Me, I have one guy that helps me in the tap room Friday and Saturdays, but I work tap room, I brew, I package, I do great marketing.
Yep.
The best marketing.
Air quotes.
Oh yeah, I have to do that. I don't know how any businesses ran before Facebook and Instagram because
no one would know about it, right?
At least now I guess. Yep. Done.
Hashtag best brewery.
Yeah. So they, so I do all those type of things. Pay the bills.
Yeah.
Pay the taxes, all that.
Someone's got it.
Right. And drink beer. Yeah. First memory of beer. I mean, probably Heineken from my dad's. Probably as everybody has. It's what my dad used to drink. don't remember particularly caring for it or the smell, but it's what it was.
Classic Heineken in the green bottles.
Yeah. Had that kind of classic Heineken smell and taste.
Right.
And, first real craft beer moment was in college, unlike most people my age back then. You're talking mid-90s.
Yep.
That's when I started doing Sam Adams and all that, and never looked back.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Boston Lager obviously being one of those.
Oh, yeah. Old Fezziwig in the holiday 12 packs.
Yeah.
But then everybody always left the cranberry lambic out of there for a while.
Why?
I don't know. And then in the spring, there's like 20 cranberry lambics in the fridge. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
All right, so let's recall back to those days of the bottle Heineken, the green bottle, right?
Yeah.
Was that like a formative moment for you? Did you say like, I want to go into brewing, or like, what was the original plan for you?
No, that wasn't. I mean, I didn't particularly think it was the best thing I'd ever had. It was just beer, and definitely wasn't 21 yet.
Yeah.
I didn't have any plans back throughout high school or anything, even college for that matter. I didn't open this brewery until I was probably 38.
Okay.
And it was really in conjunction with my brother. We were home brewing for a long time, and New Hampshire passed a nano brewer license, and really no other state, and I don't even know if they do to this point, has ever actually recognized like a nano brewery, to actually make a license that was affordable, reasonable. We could do it part-time, pay the license fee. In hindsight, license fee really doesn't matter. They could, we could pay the big one. You still, if you're worried about the $2,000, it's really not a big difference. But back then, it seemed like a cool idea to start. So, definitely wasn't the Heineken that drove me there, though.
Yeah. What did you do in a past life?
I worked for my father in an IT business. We put in phone systems and computers and all that fun stuff.
So kind of that entrepreneurial spirit of your dad owning a business, did that kind of inspire you a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely in the family, and he has been an awesome resource, because he started his business in '84 and, still going.
Cool. Good for him. Congrats.
I mean, he's been involved in this whenever I need him, for assistance or, ideas.
Yeah. Homebrewing, was that something, were you homebrewing back in the day out of beer that you wanted because there wasn't anything on the market, or was it just kind of like an interest?
It was more of an interest. I mean, at that point, there was quite a bit of, especially a lot of West Coast beer that was in this area. And, a lot of Dogfish Head we're really big into a lot of that stuff as well. Really, it was just interesting to us. My brother did it a lot more than I did. At that time, he didn't have wife and kids. I had 2 boys and wife, so it's kind of like
a bit more free time.
Yeah. So he would brew, a couple times a week sometimes,
2 a.m. he'd be brewing.
Yeah. And at one point, the house that he was living in, he brewed so much they had built a Keyser type thing.
Nice.
And they'd actually it was like a split level, and they had put taps into the wall. So that there was like a pool table down there.
That's awesome.
The ultimate bachelor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't going to fly at mine.
Yeah. So you had to build your own.
Were you helping him brew throughout that time?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of it. He had a roommate that would also do it as well. And then once we got really serious, we bought a little bit more, equipment, kind of what we were going to end up using to start. And we would brew a ton. We'd work all day and then go brew at night and, do that.
So at what point were you like, you know what, let's make this a reality. Let's turn this into something real.
I think the point was we had I can't remember specifically what the party was for. It might have been an anniversary party for some family member. We brought 3 kegs of beer that we had made, and people just went crazy for it, like destroyed it. So we're like, hey, maybe we can make this work.
Yeah.
And my brother and I came up with this motto when we first started. So we're going to make beer that we like. That way, if no one buys it, we'll drink it. So we kind of just kept on doing that. And fortunately, that hasn't been too big of a problem for us.
So obviously 2013, not a ton of breweries in the area. You mentioned 603, Kelson, but who did you look for to like kind of have that, like that inspiration other than 603? I know you mentioned seeing that 603 did it, but they had that nano size, but were there any others that you kind of looked to or leaned on?
Yeah, I mean, there's no one specific. I mean, it was such a weird time because the brewer kind of camaraderie that's right now wasn't really there because there weren't enough of them, right? So it wasn't like we were necessarily talking to them a lot or doing anything like that. It was just we saw what they were doing. We got the idea. As far as product, as far as the types of beers, Heady Topper was huge at the time, and that's what we were started drinking. That kind of led us more into the New England IPAs, which my brother just jumped all over. I was more of a dark beer brewer myself. So that's another, that style. We started to see how they were working. Again, direct sale, you had to drive there to get it.
Right.
It was fascinating.
Yeah.
First time I ever bought Heady Topper, I drove up there at the old spot, bought 2 cases, went to Ben and Jerry's with the kids. My wife's like, "Is it really that good?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was really good." She's like, "Think you should get more?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go get more."
Okay.
So I drove over, I got more. We were staying in Burlington that night, and it was like February.
Yeah.
So we drive up, and I got 3 cases of Heady Topper in my trunk, and I'm like, get to the hotel, I'm like, it's the middle of winter. I can't leave the beer in the car because it's going to blow up. There's no way the refrigerator at the hotel is going to be anywhere near. So I filled the tub with ice and put all the Heady Topper into the tub. And my wife goes, "As long as I can shower in the mornings." I'm taking it.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah. So kind of the business model was small.
Yeah.
You wanted to stay small.
Yep.
And were you able to move on from your full-time job at that point in 2014, or how long was it until you were able to this is my full-time gig?
Yeah, it took a few years. So my brother and I both worked for my dad. Cool. So it did lend us some flexibility. I'd brew one day, he'd brew another day. Mm-hmm. We'd split time in the tasting room. Yeah. Back then, the tasting room was not like it is now. It was flights only.
Yep. And you were in a different location, correct?
Correct, yeah. We were down the street about a mile in Londonderry, technically next town over. We had to move because the lease was up. They wanted a long-term. Long story short, this place opened up. I'm really good friends with Rockingham. I said, "Do you guys mind if I'm in the same building?" Like, "No, we think it'd be great."
Cool.
Because it brings. So I said, "Here we go, coming in here."
Yeah.
Once we came here, we did the bigger thing where we opened up as like a pseudo restaurant where we could do the pints. So we knew the tasting room because that's where everything was going. You had to be able to do that.
Yeah.
We were one of the last nanos to take advantage of that, especially in this area.
Mm-hmm.
In order to do that. So. Once going through the process of moving, which I never would want to do again, even with my small setup, never mind, I don't know how 603 did that.
Right.
But
they just bought new equipment almost.
No, they moved all their tanks.
No,
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But, we, that amount of work and then knowing that the tasting room was going to need more beer produced, just selling that way. So when we moved here back in 17, I guess it was, that's when I was pretty much full time. I was still, it was a flexible thing, so I was still helping out when needed, but kind of transitioned out, and definitely over the last 2 years, it's been full time.
Cool.
Dream come true kind of thing for you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was like a kid dream. It was
right.
Which would be kind of weird.
Yeah. I want to open a brewery.
Maybe my kids have that. I don't know. They might be like, "No, I don't want to do that. That's what Dad does." But they. It's definitely from when we started. It's like, it was extra work, but we love doing it. You talk about the tap rooms and having a true tap room. That's what we always enjoyed, was sitting down and having the people. And COVID's been a little weird, but talking with regulars or new people and all that. Yeah. And like my wife says, she goes, "I don't know how you do it." She's like, "You're working all day out back, and then you come up here, you flip it over, and you're just,
It's a complete change,
right?
And
she's right. Like every 30 minutes, you're getting asked almost the same questions by just like a different,
different face.
Yeah. Before we go into something more current with the brewery today, I just want to get a word from our sponsors real quick.
Did you know that your favorite Massachusetts breweries use hops from a local family-owned hop farm right here in Massachusetts?
Our friends over at 4 Star Farms are there for you whether you're a commercial brewery or a small batch home brewer.
Make sure to head over to their website today and get your hands on some of the best and freshest hops available locally. Cheers.
At our local homebrew shop, Beer and Wine Hobby, you can get everything you need to make beer, wine, cider, cheese, and more. Not sure where to start? They have knowledgeable staff there to help. Beer and Wine Hobby is family-owned and located in Danvers, Massachusetts. Visit their website, beer-wine.com, and use our promo code BREWROOTS for 10% off your online order today.
Shirts on Tap is the box subscription service where you can get some of the dopest brewery t-shirts out there. I'm talking breweries from Dallas, San Diego, and even our home area of New England. And you might ask, how do I get my hands on some? To get your first box for $5, click the link below in our description, or head on over to our website, breweroots.com. Remember, drink better beer, wear better shirts. All right, so 2017, you moved to the current spot. What drew you to this location other than like Rockingham being like, hey, yeah, you can do this. This is cool. We're rad dudes. Yeah.
Other than, I mean, the primary thing was it was less than a mile from where we were. Yep. So our existing customers, there was like no learning curve on how to get here. Yep. I mean, and most of them probably already knew where they were.
Yeah.
Even a little bit closer to Kelson. We're a little closer to downtown Derry. There's now a new brewery down there as well. So, there's kind of a lot going on in that area. So we're
kind of like a destination now at this point.
It is. We didn't want to go. Everyone's like, oh, you could go all over the place, like anywhere you want. I'm like, well, yeah, but I think people come here. You're local. I mean, you're local, or your regulars are your regulars. But you guys are from Massachusetts, right? So, what are the chances of you driving to me if I was in Plastow and I was the only one there?
Right? Exactly.
Right, but you would drive to Derry because you're going to hit 5 or 6,
right?
Or maybe not whatever you're going to do, but there's at least choices.
Challenge accepted, 5 or 6.
And I've always said if you can't find a beer in this area that you like, then you probably don't like beer, because we all kind of make different styles. I mean, we overlap, but like Rob does awesome jobs with Belgian beers over there, Imperial Stouts. Kelson with their Cryptid project, you got great sours down there, and so there's a good variety of stuff.
Yeah, very cool.
You mentioning other breweries, awesome styles. What are you guys known for?
Mostly IPA, the New England IPA. Cool. That's definitely what kind of put us in business, keeps us in business. It's what I like, preferably more than anything else.
Okay. What about that style?
I've always liked IPAs. I even liked super bitter IPAs. I mean, you think of like Palate Wrecker from Green Flash, when that used to be a really popular thing. Like
6-point resin.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I used to love that stuff, and we used to like go nut. My brother would be like, "I got Palate Wrecker. Okay, I'm coming down."
How many IBUs can I?
It's like, or like 120 minute. That stuff. So I've always liked that style. I like hops. I like to fool around with hops, change them. Yep. Change the combination. So this particular IPA, the one we have on right now, is a Leftovers. We change that pretty much every month. I'll do different hops combination. It used to be.
It's a joke like you had leftover
like
hops.
It was. The first time we did it, that's what it was. Like, we did it right after Thanksgiving, and we were like, oh, this is our leftovers.
It's a great Thanksgiving beer.
But then it turned into, all right, so like there's a new hop out, or I want to try a new combination. Yeah. So I'll do that rather than make a whole new beer and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Favorite hop? Or go-to hop?
Citra.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a classic go-to.
Yeah.
Galaxy, it's just so expensive, but I love it.
Yeah.
Done right. Sometimes it comes a little weird to me, but those are probably my top 2. Yeah.
Nice.
Do you do any like hop selection, or you just kind of get what you get?
No, it's all done through a distributor.
Yep.
So yeah. There is a place in Maine that I'd like to go to at some point, but I just haven't made that trek up there.
Absolutely. So the New England style IPA, obviously kind of what's gotten the beer scene kind of on the map. Mm-hmm. And you being partial to Heady Topper back in the day, do you have a beer that's, similar or inspired by that, or are you trying to stay away from those clone styles, Yeah,
I mean, actually one of our beers, Joel had kind of tried to originally work that off of a Heady Topper style. But it's actually, we ended up changing it a little bit further into it to get rid of some of the bitterness, which is kind of your classic New England IPA. So that's because we were seeing the trend of
juicier,
to the point that you're not boiling really any hops and you're doing any of that. So.
Yeah. Do you see in a world of IPAs kind of the line being blurred of what an actual IPA is now, because you're introducing lactose?
You asked about touchy subjects. Yes, lactose in IPAs is not a thing that I like.
I appreciate that.
I will never do that. So there's 2 things we will never do: is lactose in IPA and pumpkin beer.
Okay.
Not. I just don't like pumpkin.
He's my new favorite.
I don't mind fruit so much in an IPA if it's done well. We do a Zed's Dead, which is a New England Pale Ale that we put mango in, or we'll put, we'll do the base version, but we'll put mango, blood orange, a couple different things like that. I don't mind fruit, but the lactose, and then you throw the vanilla, that whole milkshake idea is not in my.
It's tough to drink a glass of.
Oh yeah.
Well, a lot of beers now are designed for shares, I guess. So that's kind of how they.
True. That's probably the
it's
idea.
what sells is that I'm going to do 4 ounces, and everyone's like, "Whoa, it's the best thing I ever had." But
It's only had 4 ounces. So.
I can't tell you times a friend of mine's brought some and be like, "I don't know if I could do a can of that though." Like, yeah,
Right.
like a big pastry stout.
Yeah.
Somebody brought some 16% something, and I was like, "Wow, this tastes great," but I'm like.
Yeah. 3 sips in and you're good.
Yeah, there's a lot of brewers that we interview and they say, if you don't want to have a second glass, then it's not worth making.
Right. Yeah.
Seltzers, huge industry for seltzers. Are you guys doing any seltzers or?
No, the closest you'll get is something like that. The sours.
Yeah.
I don't have any plans for that. I would love to be able to do a cider. I kind of enjoy ciders, but New Hampshire law is a little funky. You got to be a brew pub, so we're not a brew pub. So
Yeah.
but I've made some homebrew ciders. My mother-in-law actually works at Max Apples over there. I've used some of their
very cool.
unpasteurized cider that they make off the press, and it comes out really well. But
That's what I'm going to be doing this weekend.
apple picking, that's what it's all about, right? Put your flannel on. There you go.
No, I'm getting unpasteurized cider. I'm going to be making some cider.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay. I thought you were going apple picking.
Well, either way.
Yeah. No, but I think a lot of breweries are looking at the cider as the seltzer as like it's easy to sell and it's something that everyone can drink. But if you have a nice sour or if you have like a light IPA,
it's almost the same, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the sour, the spare parts. I was saying we changed the fruit up on that a lot, and like raspberry lime will be out this weekend. That's been our go-to beer for like the non-beer person that's visiting with people.
Yeah.
They will usually go towards something like that.
Yeah.
But it's still beer,
right?
So it's not. But the seltzer, I don't have any plans. I mean, we're so small that for me to try and
takes tank space up.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Right.
And you probably have to have a cheap price point on it, I'd imagine, for it to work.
Yeah,
So.
for sure.
Londonderry and Derry being kind of like a working class area, I'm sure craft beer is not the first go-to that people might get at a 99 or how do you get people who are those domestic drinkers into your brewery and trying something that
a lot of it's word of mouth. I think I mentioned before you got the Facebook and all that, but unless somebody's following you, they're not going to know anything about it. We are a little different in that we don't distribute anything at the moment. When we first started, we distribute a little bit with bottles and a few kegs here and there, but over the last year or so, we really haven't distributed anything. So it's all been in-house. So we don't get that kind of word of mouth from a restaurant necessarily, unless you're at a place that's like a craft beer place and they know of us and they will tell people. So it's really all just, hey, a lot of people can say, I brought my friend here. He doesn't really like beer. And you either turn him or you don't. So usually, hopefully I have a beer. I shouldn't say they don't like beer. They don't like craft beer.
Yeah.
Right.
So hopefully I have a light pale ale or something like that.
Something approachable.
Yeah. I mean, I don't do any lagers. I don't do anything like that. So.
All right. So we need to address the elephant in the room. Obviously, COVID happening. How did that affect your business? Was New Hampshire one of those states that issued you guys to be essential from the get-go, or?
Yeah, I mean, we were marked essential. We never had to actually shut down completely. We had to shut down.
That's good.
Yeah, it was a huge help. I mean, I think because we're technically seen as like a food manufacturer, and then also like the liquor stores weren't going to shut down. So if you're not going to shut that down, then they're not going to shut us down.
Liquor stores need to be fed, right?
So we couldn't have people come and sit, obviously for a while. So it did change our model. We had to package pretty much everything. I mean, growlers were becoming a real pain in the neck because we didn't want to like take people's back and do all that. So canned a lot more, bottled a lot more. Set up an online store, which we had never had before, so people could order online. Yeah. It's about as good as my marketing.
I bet it's real fancy.
No, I saw it, the Squarespace that you guys have.
Yeah. Nice.
It does the trick.
That's where, like, after I'm done canning, I'm like trying to put something. Come on, just go online.
Just work it.
Yeah. And that's coming from a tech guy.
Yeah. Right. So now, did you have a mobile canning line come in, or?
No, we work with the folks next door. They have a canning line.
Perfect.
So
That's
it works
awesome.
out well.
Yeah.
Works out really well.
So coming from the tech industry, I'm sure that you guys shared all your tech equipment with other industries, right?
No.
Yeah. So
no, totally different industry.
Yeah,
no. My dad, because my dad ran that business, and he used to say when we first started this, he goes, in the IT world, everyone calls you because there's a problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the beer world, everyone calls to say everything's great.
Yeah. That's nice.
It's a whole different mindset.
So obviously your neighbors, they can a little bit more than you guys, but canning's a whole different thing. You're doing only to go here, so no distribution in the state for your can. So you can kind of control the product a little bit better. Is that kind of the reason behind that? Or, IPAs, if you send an IPA out and you see it on the shelf, it's a lot different than it being in.
True. I mean, it's a size thing for us. I mean, the amount that we'll can in a particular week, it would be shocking if we still had it on Monday and any cans left. So the fact that we didn't have to worry about it not going out of here, didn't really want us to distribute it. Yeah. If we were double the size of that or whatever, then maybe we would look at doing that. But in New Hampshire, we can self-distribute, so we still have some control.
Yeah. Were you doing deliveries then at all?
We started to toy with that idea. But we never got that far. I actually started to think that for a while, people just wanted to get out of the house for the 2 minutes and just pick up their beer. We almost went there, but then we saw that things were starting to
open back up.
So we're like, I mean, we're pretty strapped on personnel anyways, so to get somebody to be driving around, and if the question is, do you do just your local area, in which case how much does that really benefit you, or do you branch out and then you're driving around all day to
such
do
a catch-22.
So we just we have a great customer base around here, and they really supported us, and from day one, like, the orders were just rolling in online, and people just coming in and picking them up.
That's awesome.
And,
So let's talk about food then. Did you have to do the whole food with every beer here?
No, we didn't have to do that.
Okay.
As a nano brewery, to serve pints in New Hampshire, anyways, we have to offer food, and we have to have a retail food service license.
Okay.
But you don't, if you're going to order a beer, you don't need to have a plate of food in front of you.
Nice.
I don't know if I'd buy that.
In Massachusetts, that's the deal right now. But
that sounds like maybe one of the lobbyists said, I got an idea.
It definitely is.
I own a food distributing company, and I want...
That's exactly what it is,
I think the quote
actually.
was said, breweries and bars masquerading as restaurants.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, you're shoving, and I said that, I was saying before, I think that almost leaves you to more potential issues.
Yeah.
The COVID knows there's food there, won't go.
Yeah.
It's so smart.
Oh, he's got the nachos. Nope.
Nope.
How did your 2020 plans change business-wise? Was there plans for expansion, or is there plans just to...
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any hard plans. I mean, I've been toying with some different ideas. I definitely stopped in March and kind of said I'm not going to even address it.
Right.
Just get through and see how this goes, because, you heard everything from nothing's going to be open until 2022 to...
Seriously.
whatever.
We're opening next week.
Well, that was the thing. What happened to the 14 days to flatten the curve turned into...
Right. Yep.
That aged like milk.
Yeah. So there was definitely... I mean, it wasn't anything major. Maybe a couple bigger tanks, things like that. I don't have desires to be really much bigger. I mean, a little bit bigger. Maybe we could get in some more restaurants just to get it out there. And have that kind
Local
of,
restaurants.
Yep. But I don't know if I want to have a staff of a bunch of people and
You like the low key, kind of small.
I mean, and I like that we can do it out of here, and,
Yeah.
and everything's sold out of here, and you're chatting with the people that you're actually handing the beer to everybody that's buying your beer.
Right.
And,
There's a lot to say about that, for sure. So no plans like growing or anything, like just tank wise. No, you're not going to be 603 in 2 years. Right? No.
That's all right. I mean, I love the
nothing wrong
small nano brewery experience.
No, I mean, if anything, so we're on a 2-barrel system. I think Kelson's on a 7. We might look at something in between that.
Yep.
Yeah.
3, 5. You
Yeah.
know. But would I want to go any bigger than that? At that point, I feel like I'm going to lose some control over it, and
Yeah.
then you need somebody to do this, somebody to do that, and which is fine. But
Are you brewing every day of the week with us?
3, usually 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I got 6 tanks, so I do 3 and then package.
Being a smaller brewery, doing lagering is a difficult thing. Is that something you guys don't lager?
Not right now. I don't really have the right setup for it, or the patience for that.
I know tank spaces is
Good to be honest.
Yeah.
Where do your current beer ideas come from?
I mean, most of the new beers that we're making are just what, people bring me beers to try from different states.
Cool.
We had never done the sours up until about 8 months ago.
Oh, wow. Nice.
We actually, a little bit before that, we did a collaboration with those guys where we did a Goza. First time I had really fooled around with it, and then people really started to get into that. So it's just kind of you look at trends, but you don't want to go too trendy. Like the seltzer thing, which maybe isn't trendy, but it's
trendy. It's definitely trendy. Let's be honest here.
Yeah. So before we get into dream collaboration with you, I want to just get a quick word from our awesome sponsors. So take it away, sound guy Ryan.
Take it away.
Are you a solo artist, band, podcaster, or anyone else who needs recording services?
Well, we got a place for you where your vision can become a reality.
Welcome to Small Pond Studios, built by hand with heart and sweat equity by musicians for musicians.
Go to smallpondstudios.io to reach out to get more information. And make sure you let them know that Brew Roots sent you. Hey, Sound Guy Ryan here. Didn't know if you heard, but we're a part of the Hopped Up Network. There you'll find other informative podcasts about beer. So go ahead, follow them on social media, and visit them on their website, hoppedupnetwork.com, to learn more about the people, beer, and breweries from around the country. And until next time, thanks for listening. Cheers.
All right, so we know that you guys did the collaboration with Rockingham right down the literally, what, 500?
Yeah.
500 feet away, yeah.
But do you have any dream collaborations? I mean...
I guess I've never really thought of that. It's kind of funny you brought that because the guy that helps me out here is like, what about if we could collab with this or that? And I said, I'd collab with anybody. I've never really thought about where I'd want to go. I mean, I guess...
It's like, really, that's really trendy, actually.
Yeah.
Well, it is. There's some breweries that you feel like every week they're doing something new.
Yeah,
And it's like, man, I mean...
Anyone.
It's hard. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
if John Kimmick came out here and said, "Hey, I want to brew,"
I would do that.
Hands down.
But I also, from a variety or a crazy standpoint, like Dogfish Head, like just
that'd be cool.
That would be pretty messed
Yeah.
up. Like, because I mean, I just remember from the episode that they're chewing the seeds. And do you ever see that?
Oh, the chicha.
Yeah, they're spitting. Like it's like, all right, like I could get down with like not that. That's kind of gross, but
something crazy, extreme, or something.
That's what
right?
I think it'd be. I mean, like I would. Don't get me wrong. Like to go brew, at Alchemist would be amazing. But
it would be cool to brew something different that you usually brew or whatever, right? Yeah.
I mean, like old school barley wine at Dogfish Head was like one of my favorite.
Yeah.
I'd love to like see like, okay, what went into that? What thought process and that,
Yeah.
Definitely.
Obviously, you have the ultimate homebrew system here, but you don't homebrew at home, I'm guessing, any longer. No, just home cider. Yeah.
Does your brother still homebrew at all, or?
My brother moved to Australia.
Oh wow!
I don't
Good
know
for
if
him.
he's really doing much of that down there. He went when he moved. His wife was from there, so they moved there.
Okay.
And I know he went back into kind of the tech world.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
I'm sure he's kind of
itching to.
he kind of said he thought that Australia was kind of where we were, 10 years ago as far as craft beer goes.
Oh yeah, it's all West Coast IPAs.
Yeah. Well, they have these things called sparkling ales. I don't know what it is, but everything he checks into is a sparkling ale. So I don't.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to just ask, have you had an opportunity to try some of the beers from Australia or not?
I haven't. And everyone
what is
asks
your brother doing?
It's really hard to ship stuff back
Yeah,
and forth.
that's actually true.
Crazy. And of course, I can't do it as a brewer. Like if I tried to ship, like they'll probably get like
That's
arrested
probably
or
frowned
something.
upon.
But and everyone asks if I'm plans to go down there. It's just such a big trip.
Yeah.
Such a big.
What is that?
It's
18-hour flight or something?
Yeah,
like
it's
that?
a day of travel.
Yeah, and then you got to be there for at least 2 weeks
To make it worthwhile.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, everything there wants to kill you. Like the spiders.
This is
and the
true.
thing,
Everything we wants to kill you.
Fires.
The least thing you have to worry about is the great white sharks.
Right.
Yeah, I just thought they had
That's nice.
Foster's there, so now they have sparkling ales. So I'm glad to know.
We'll look into
Foster's. That's
it.
the first beer I got when I turned 21. My dad handed me an oil can of Foster's.
An oil can.
Here you go, son.
Welcome to adulthood.
But I almost got punched in the face at the old brewery because a guy came in, had an Australian accent, and I said, "Oh, my brother's either he had moved there or was just moving there."
Yeah.
We were chatting, and I said, somebody asked him, one of the bar patrons said, what kind of craft beer do you have in Australia? And I said, Foster's. He goes, fuck you. He goes, you don't even drink that shit. He goes,
Sorry.
And here I was sitting the whole time thinking it was
I
Australian for
thought
beer.
it was, yeah, my
I
bad.
guess the Outback Steakhouse was wrong.
Goddamn crocodiles and oh man, our Australia fan
Just went down.
Plummeted.
It went down,
Yeah.
yeah.
huge listeners in
So
Australia. Yeah. I was going to ask you, From the Barrel, the name. It's a good name. I wish I named my podcast From the Barrel. That's a way better name than Brew Roots. But where did you guys get the name?
So as a family business, you can imagine about 6 to 8 people with input onto the name of what this brewery is going to be called. My wife, my brothers, my other brother, my dad, my mom, everybody.
Yep.
This was the only one, I don't remember who even came up with it, that not everybody said no to. Really? Or everybody else but then the person.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, it works in the sense that you have barrel-aged beers. We do some of that. Everyone comes in and thinks that we do everything barrel-aged, which we don't.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be my thing at all. But like what's the place in Maine does that, which their beers are phenomenal. Barrel Souls.
Barrel
Barrel
Souls,
Souls, yeah.
right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But for me, that's not my style, but to do everything that way. And then other people, but of course, barrel is also a unit of measurement.
Yep.
So it worked.
It works.
I looked at it and was
Yeah.
like, yeah, this works.
It's a beer thing.
And
Yeah.
And then we could,
Oh, it's all right.
then we could do the FTB thing. And that's kind of what most people know us as
FTB.
that.
Yeah.
FTB, yeah.
Well, that's a good
What?
sound, right? No, FTB.
Do you need another beer?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Exactly.
Love it. So talk about the feel of the tap room. It's
It's
when I came
cozy.
in,
I
I was
love
like,
it.
it is small, but now I'm looking around, it's like I'd have a good time here. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm turning 30 this year. I'd fuck with this place.
So the funnest part was to be able to have a bar. So the old spot.
The bar's beautiful.
We had a good
It's
time
nice.
doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
The old spot was much bigger.
Yep.
Tasting room, but we had like literally it was a secretary's desk that like you walk into like a big
Hi,
business.
how are you? Can I
and
get you a beer?
I mean, some parts were really nice because they had like a level here where we could do everything and then put it up.
Yep.
But it was super tiny. You could fit like 4 people, maybe 5 tops.
Yeah.
So the first thing I knew, I wanted to have a bar. I wanted to have plenty of room for us behind here. So we put extra care into the bar. A buddy of mine built the brains of it. We went and bought, this is butcher block walnut that didn't even need to be stained. This is just what it looked like.
Beautiful.
It is
And then
beautiful.
laminated it,
Yeah.
So that was because we wanted people here.
Yeah.
We brought those kind of wall bars from the old spot, and that's fine. And when this gets too full, especially during COVID, people go over there.
Yeah.
Things like that. But no, that's the vibe. I mean, Thursday, Fridays, a lot of regulars, local people. Saturday, Sundays, people visiting. People. It's
Yep.
usually 2 different types of groups
Crowds.
that you're getting. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get the tours as much, nowadays, but I'm sure they'll start coming back at some point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
If you were to say that you have a flagship, what would that beer be?
It's probably one of 2. The Papa is a double IPA that we make that's pretty well requested, and then Big L, which is a 10.5% double IPA as well. So
Damn.
Nice.
That hits.
that one, people like that.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Absolutely. Well, Jay, I want to get to know you a little bit more and what you're drinking at home, and so yeah, what are you drinking at home?
Vodka.
Vodka.
Straight vodka. That's it.
Jay and I talked off
But
air,
yeah,
and we're both doing Zoom.
Yeah.
I mean, Noom.
Yeah.
And I drunkenly bought it, $187.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
So vodka's probably
It hasn't worked.
It's vodka's in our diet. I
It
think.
is. Oh yeah, no, it's way low. I mean, no, I actually do. I do enjoy a vodka and ginger beer. That's
a great
Ooh.
one.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Delish.
So
Yeah.
outside of the beer world, beers, I don't.
Do you have a ginger beer brand? I'm just curious. I'm always looking for a good one.
So really good is Fever Tree is probably the best.
Okay.
And then I just got, and I can't pronounce it. It's actually Australian, but
It's not Foster's.
it's not
Damn it.
Foster's. It's an orange yellowish thing. It's in like this weird little bottle, almost looks like a red stripe bottle.
Oh.
And it has like a pull tab kind of thing. So it works out. But I just tried that one. That was pretty good. But I think Fever Tree is probably the best.
Okay. Shout out to Fever Tree.
Noted.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. But yeah, I mean, beers, other than my own beer, during the COVID, I don't get out very much. But, obviously I go see those guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I have friends that just bring stuff up. I have a friend that lives down in Mass, so like he just came up over the weekend, brought me up some vitamin C, all that.
Nice,
So I'll just
nice.
whatever I can try, just try
Yeah.
the newer stuff that's out there, and
Yep.
so.
Market research.
Yes, that's what I call it.
Food driven. Any beer and food pairing that's like ideal to you?
I can tell you one of the most popular food items that we have here that people order is called
Let's go for it.
pig shots.
Okay.
Ooh.
So it's a slice of kielbasa wrapped
Yeah.
in bacon with a jalapeno brown sugar cream cheese in the middle
Oh
of
my
it.
God.
And what? And
It-
any
it's-
beer.
it's-
And it's good with any beer.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's not you can't find it on Noom,
Yep.
Oh, damn.
which is probably a good thing.
And that would be like a red. That would be like
right.
Yeah. What's with the red? Everything I eat's red.
banana today was red.
Yeah. I ate like a rice cake. It was red. I'm like,
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just drink water.
that's what they're mentally preparing.
Yeah,
for.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe I think red's good.
Yeah. Do you have like a guilty pleasure beer?
High life.
Awesome.
Okay. Cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool.
Champagne.
Champagne and beer. Have you done it? No,
Every episode.
every episode now. I've asked, have you had it with Aperol?
I don't know what that is.
So Aperol is like it's a liqueur.
That's that red thing.
Spag-
that-
yes.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no.
No, you should try it. Don't knock it till you try it. It's called a spaghetti.
We had that. I had to get that with like prosecco or something, right? For somebody's.
I'm sure.
Is that
Yeah,
one of the
yeah. You
things?
mix
Yeah.
it with prosecco, and it's
Okay.
like what the hell is that called?
I was running around the liquor store trying to find that thing.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh.
No,
I know where the vodka is. I know that.
I'm not gonna
Near the beers.
I'm not throwing any shade at the New Hampshire liquor store, but the women that work there are angry when you ask for Aperol. They're like, I don't know where that is. Okay, I'm sorry.
They should learn.
Yeah,
I
tell me.
guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
It's
just tell me.
red. I didn't drink it, so I don't know. I guess I'll try it.
It's good with High Life.
Does it have liquor in it, or is it?
Yeah,
It does.
Ryan, you liked it.
I did like it. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I liked it.
Did you put ice in it?
No.
No,
No, I literally
you
opened up the
crack
Miller
it?
High
Put a
Life,
shot
and then
in
you
it.
Kind of
just
like
fill up the top.
a little eyedropper.
Yeah,
kind of-
exactly.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
There's a little bit of the headspace in the,
Yeah.
in the
You just
Or you just
fill
take a
that up.
swill.
yeah.
Either way.
Or like you get like a nip of it, you take a sip, and like swish it around your mouth.
No one does that. No one
think
does that.
That's gonna not end well if I do that. Just,
Yeah.
Oh,
So after this podcast, Jay, Erica, and Ryan,
red all over.
Yeah, right, right,
Look at Aperol shots.
we're doing spaghetti.
We should just bring those with us.
Yeah, we
That's just
should.
like our after
That's
podcast.
actually a
drink.
smart move. You'd be like, if you tried it with this and then just pull it out.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
We are now segueing to our.
Aperol sponsors our podcast now.
Yeah.
it's all coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You see it now?
So yeah,
That's
You know
cool.
what? I don't think I have any more questions, but I know Ryan or Eric are probably.
I'm curious. Yeah, I have a quick question. So, like, education-wise, did you ever get any education on brewing? Any specific books that you like?
I mean,
super
books. I mean, we
recommend?
did do. I mean, actually, honest. This day and age, it's all online.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all just research, forums, what other people have done, especially when we were homebrewing, what worked for other people, what
Yep.
hasn't. And even some of those homebrew forums are good as a professional brewery. You can look at and be like, oh, yeah. Because a lot of them will try things that,
You as a
the
professional
bigger
maybe
guys wouldn't even
would.
do.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you chat and they're like, I wouldn't do that. But like, well, let me try it.
Yeah.
Because we're not much bigger than, a really big homebrew set. I mean,
Right,
it's not like we're on a
right.
10-barrel thing or something,
Yeah.
So yeah, I had no formal brewing other than just, 5 years experience now. I
Yeah.
guess, but.
That's cool.
Going along with the education, what's something that you want to learn more about, either in the brewing process or owning your own business?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Yeah, Ryan likes to put a damper on things. Fuck you, Ryan.
I wouldn't mind learning more about lagering if I can get the right equipment in place to do that. I mean, there are some, you look at like some of the Jack Zabby's, like hoppy lagers and things like that. I really
yeah.
enjoy those.
Yeah, they make some pretty good beers there.
Yeah,
They're all right.
Yeah, they're all right.
they're fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
It's whatever.
It's a thing.
Yeah. I've heard of lagering once. I don't know. But yeah, that's a cool.
Yeah, I mean, most of obviously we've done ales, we've done barrel aged stuff, so kind of the only real. I don't really see me getting into like crazy mixed fermentation stuff because I just don't have the space or the
Yeah.
to separate that.
And it's a huge risk, too. Yeah.
So if
What
anything-
What about your own business? Like, what's something you want to learn more about having a business?
how to hire someone to do all the paperwork.
Yes.
It's a lot of paperwork. It's like tonight I got to go do the taxes, so it's like
Good luck, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
luckily New Hampshire's pretty straightforward.
Good.
All right, so Jay, we want people coming to your tap room at a social distance, wearing a mask.
Yes.
Please.
Where are you guys physically located, and where are you guys located on the interweb?
So we are 1 Corporate Park Drive, unit number 16. There are 2 breweries in our building. Rockingham at the end. We're at the far end. We're in Derry, New Hampshire, and online at drinkftb.com.
Cool. Instagram, social.
Yeah, we have Facebook, Instagram, From the Barrel Brewing. Instagram's at drinkftb.
Cool.
Yeah, we update that
Cool.
at least a couple times a week. So
Yeah.
it's my
You update
awesome
that.
marketing.
Yeah.
The best marketing.
Sometimes I get a text from my wife. What kind of picture was that?
It was good.
You don't even know.
I don't care how
God.
good. I don't care how good these phones get. They still can't fix me.
You should just say to her next time she says, because my girlfriend says, what kind of picture was that? I say, you should have seen the one that I didn't choose.
You should see the rest of the camera roll.
You shouldn't have seen the one.
The 20 photos before that.
You'll be really thankful I chose this one.
Exactly.
Cool.
And lastly, what are you most proud of?
My kids.
Oh, I always love that
That's
answer.
easy. Yeah.
Love it.
Cool. Well, Jay, thank you so much for taking some
Thank you,
time out
guys.
of your
It was
day
fun.
to do this.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're dying to go do taxes, so
Can't
we'll let
wait.
you go.
Can't wait.
We'll let you go do that. We're gonna go get some spaghettis with you after though.
Yeah, no, for sure. We're getting ready for taxes.
That's how you get taxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
How come you double paid, Matt?
Don't worry about it. I'll get it back next
Better
year.
than underpaying.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we'd love to catch up with you in a year just to kind of see what's going on.
Definitely.
And,
Definitely.
Until
touch base
next
then.
time.
Sounds good.
cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Well, if you've made it this far, you know that we have some exciting news about Ryan's hair.
Actually, he was lying to you. I'm not going to cut it off. He just wanted you to listen to the outro.
Well, that's not 100% true. You did say if one of our amazing listeners was donating $5,000 to the podcast, you would cut your hair.
I'd consider it, yeah.
No, you should $5,000. You would do that. Oh my lord. Well,
That's crazy.
we have an awesome episode for y'all next week. Erica, what's this episode about?
We're going to do some beer sensory with the sensory section of Firestone Walker.
I know, which is awesome. You might have heard of Firestone Walker. They're
You
a
might
pretty
have
big
heard of them.
brewery.
Yeah.
You know, they're just a little brewery out on the West Coast.
They're
West Coast.
kind of known.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. They might know what they're talking about.
But this has been a requested episode by a couple of our listeners.
Yeah.
So we're glad that we can fulfill this wish for our customers, and hopefully you learned something, because I definitely learned something.
We definitely did.
What's it called? Retrograde?
Retronasal.
Retronasal, yes.
You guys will find out about it next
You'll
week.
love it.
Yeah, but I'm going to enjoy my beer, and I'm going to retronasal taste
The
it.
flavors.
Yeah, so until next week,
Cheers.
cheers.